Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 5th episode of Just in Time for Music. Today's guest is not an officer, but he's just as cool. Please welcome Zach Losko. Dude, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on. So let's start off. What instrument do you play? Like, what year of school are you in? What's your major?
All right, so I play the bass, as you can see right there.
That big, giant instrument.
Yeah. I am actually a freshman here at S1E5, and I am still in the exploratory major, but by the time this comes out, I might have already declared. I'm trying to get it over with already.
What are you going to declare to?
I'm probably like speed run declare, do research about this stuff this weekend actually.
Okay.
Hi, this is a little message from Megan, the editor. If you listen closely, you might be able to hear a musician practicing what to me sounds like either an oboe or a clarinet. I'm sorry we didn't notice this in the moment, but I think it's a fun little nod to what it's like to be in Swope as you hear so many instruments practicing all the time. All right, enjoy the rest of the episode.
What is it that you would say you do outside of music?
That is it's not a big list. Not really, but I like messing around plants. Plants are pretty cool. I basically grew up on a farm. For like 5 years of my childhood, we grew like 1 to 1.5 acres of pumpkins and sold them.
Awesome.
And then I'm really into pottery. It's probably one of my favorite things. I actually have like my little mini studio at home.
That's awesome. What would you say is probably the most elaborate pottery project that you've made?
Probably just like my chaos pot series, I want to say, because every time I try to do it, like, it's like this pot I keep on trying to make, but I just keep messing up. It's like this pot that's like about yay tall.
Okay.
I'm just messing around with it. Threw a bunch of oxides on it, and I don't know why, I just always rush it, and then it explodes in a kiln.
So would you say that pottery is more of like it's basically like a patience sort of activity?
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah.
And then regarding your farm, is that pumpkin farm still like going like every year?
No, cause mostly from just university college and stuff, and just getting tired of it, we had to stop for a few years.
Ah. What would you say is probably the biggest pumpkin that you've grown?
Biggest, I would say, probably around 60-ish pounds.
Jeez. So it must have been like, what, like super tall, super wide, right?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That's awesome. So what else do you do for fun, like outside of your music?
Outside of music, probably just YouTube is just fun time waster.
Yeah, I know. I know it all too well.
I'm trying to get into like designing stuff, because in high school we had some like 3D printing class, and I just love like designing stuff.
Awesome.
So I'm trying to get back into the habit of that.
What sort of stuff have you designed like in high school?
In high school, we were just kind of given products like 3D printers, and then like we had a laser engraver, and basically I made for my mom like a picture frame that like displays every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
We also made what was it? There's a bunch of other cool projects basically.
Nice.
I'm blanking right now.
What would you say is probably something that you would want to make? Like probably like your dream like creation that you would want to make, like 3D printing?
Ooh, here we go. Not 3D printing, but maybe some parts. Towards the end of the year, I ran out of time, but I was going to make a bass guitar.
3D printing?
Not 3D printing, but we have this thing called a shop bot, where basically it's like a CNC mill, where it like kind of gives like this.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, you just design what you want in a software, and then you send it off, and it basically carves out wood.
Mhm. So, I know that you also have a history of ultimate frisbee, seeing as how you and I are both on the club team up here. So, shout out to the club SRU ultimate frisbee team.
Yeah.
How did you get started with ultimate frisbee, and what made you choose that sport?
So kind of ironically, I guess, one of my friends in orchestra at that time, he was, I believe, the captain of the frisbee team at our high school. Well, my high school, I guess. So I kind of asked him about one day because I was interested about it, because I was like, what is this? Because like, I know what frisbee is, but like, what is ultimate frisbee? So I asked him about it, and he said, oh, I can take you to practice one day. And then, yeah, I just went with him. It was kind of Jake, I want to call it, because we didn't have an avid coach. And plus, it was 2020, so that spring. So COVID was kind of like still wondering about.
Yeah.
And so the Pittsburgh Ultimate League didn't start any official games up. So we're just kind of trying to organize some scrimmages against other local schools and just messing around with ourselves.
So your high school was in like a real league?
Prior to me joining, yes, but when I was in it, no. Because, like I said, the Pittsburgh League didn't have anything that year.
Yeah, I feel like COVID really like just
Yeah, I messed with
it really just put a halt to everything. But like for my ultimate frisbee experience, like I only really knew of it because we played it at cross country just for like fun day Fridays a lot, like the last couple of years. And that was the extent of what I knew. But when I came up here and I got involved with the team here, there's so much more and it's just so different from how we play like back home.
Oh yeah.
Because like there's like actual play styles you have to memorize. There's like full positions. Like these people can actually throw it like really far, and it's not like just a short pass game like all the way down to the end zone and back. Like it's a lot of fun, and it's cool because it's not like we have like a real like coaching staff. We just have like these like really professional upperclassmen people that have really taught us a lot, and I really like it because I feel like especially on the ultimate frisbee team, it's probably like the best like team groupingness that I've felt like on a team like in my whole life.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like that spring of that year of high school was probably one of the probably the best times in my high school life. I'd call it. Yeah, even though like we didn't have like officially have any games, we didn't do scrimmages like I said earlier, but toward the end though, we did do a round robin kind of tournament thing that was hosted by Pittsburgh Ultimate.
Awesome.
Which was really fun. Kind of sad though, because after that spring, basically all of the members were seniors. So me and like two others were the ones trying to bring it back the following years, and it just never happened.
So you guys pretty much rebuilt that team after everybody left?
No, like after everyone left, we tried, but no teacher wanted to sponsor it.
Jeez.
So it just fell apart and.
So it just vanished?
Yeah.
Jeez, that sucks. Yeah, I feel like after COVID, a lot of organizations were like that. It's like they had to either rebuild or just completely dissolve entirely. And I think our high school got lucky because I don't think there were very many organizations that were like that. But we also didn't really have an ultimate frisbee team. So I feel like even though like I'm still learning stuff like every practice I go to, it's difficult because I feel like I lack so much experience that everyone else had because their high schools like had a team.
Yeah, like at that tournament, the round robin tournament I was talking about earlier, they actually had Pitt Ultimate there, like the best team in the area. They were actually teaching us some plays, and I think that's when I first learned basically what play was.
Nice.
Because our whole team would just go.
Yeah.
So I think we did just the, what was it, the vertical stack and a go drill.
Okay. For those that are not professional ultimate frisbee people, a vertical stack is basically you're lined up single file with your team, but the enemy team is matched up with you, and then you have to move towards one of the two handlers, which will be like here in the stack, and you either cut towards this person that has the frisbee, which means you run to them to get open, or you run to this person that could have the frisbee. And it is difficult because 9 times out of 10 you will be matched with someone that's got either more experience or more speed than you. So it's definitely a test of your ability to get open and like how fast you can go, but also a test of like how well you know the game, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the go drill, which I'll also mention, was kind of just like the most basic drill there is, where half the team lines up on one side and the other half lines up the other side. You have one disc. You kind of just, you run out, dash back in, then you get the frisbee thrown to you, then you pass it to the person on the other side, then you grab it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
To put it into simple context, it's basically a figure 8, but you get thrown a frisbee at a couple points along the figure 8 that you run.
yeah, that's probably a better way of explaining it.
Yeah.
I'm not that great at explaining things.
Anyways, is there anything else that you really do like outside of music, like any other sports or activities?
I also swim. Swimming is probably the biggest sport in my life growing up. I swim here too, but I haven't gone to that many practices. I'm trying to go more, but I haven't yet.
Is the swim team like a club team, or did you like get like a scholarship to be here for it?
No, it's a club team. It's the swim and dive team.
Uh,
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited because there should be some meets coming up soonish.
Awesome.
They weren't confirmed, but we were given dates, so.
Yeah. Only time will tell, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's dive back into the music part of the show, and the reason that I'm sure you guys are all here to see. So, how did you get involved with music, and what made you choose the bass? Because, like, of the bass players that I know, like, I think all 3 of them ended up starting out on cello, but transferring to bass later on. How did it work for you?
Okay, so kind of like how I remember watching Pierce's episode, how he liked the instrument zoo or fair kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just remember in 3rd grade we had actually. We went down to like the music room, and we all had all these string instruments like kind of like just like lined up, and we all just like walked around the circle basically, just looking at them.
Nice. Did they have anybody like playing them for like a demo, or was it just the instrument just sitting there and you could like take a look?
I think the teacher was playing his viola because he's a pretty good violist.
Nice.
What was it? Yeah, so basically I was walking around, I was like, okay, I want to do an instrument, because instruments are cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was walking around, I was like, ooh, that cello looks pretty cool. But then I saw a bass right next to it, and I was like, go big or go home. I'm going bass.
You got that right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, at least in my high school and like my elementary school and stuff, like, when I walked around in 3rd grade, like, honestly, I think it was just our music teacher that just played the instruments for us just to show us a bit of a demo and like talk about what they could do. But I think she only really covered violin, viola, and cello because I don't think anybody in our district was even like really like had the strength or was like built like tall enough to be on the bass yet. But I feel like that kind of came in at like lower classes that were like below me. So like even now, like I don't think bass is even offered in the elementary school setting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It's every high school or every school district I feel like has like a different way of doing things. But bringing it back to you, so did you start in 3rd grade?
Yeah, I actually did start in 3rd grade. It was kind of weird because they only had one quarter-size bass. So it was me and this other kid. We kept on just like exchanging the bass back and forth in practices.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I would say it was 4th grade was when they announced the band instruments.
Nice.
I don't know why they didn't give them out all in one year, but I guess separate them. Why not?
Yeah, at least for like my school district,
Mhm.
that was pretty much the same way they did it for us. Like, we learned about the strings instruments our 3rd grade year, but 4th grade year, we got the band side of
Oh,
things.
cool. Yeah, same here. So yeah, for a year, I actually did trombone for a bit.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's any trombone players out there, comment down below. I'm curious.
So yeah, the only thing I learned was, I think it was B flat, something like that. The one like most basic thing you could do.
Yeah.
Or second most, because that was even moved at the side, I believe.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't really like it that much, so I kind of stopped after that.
Nice.
But I stayed with bass the whole time.
Yeah, when I was at that age, like, I thought about how, like, wanting to play 2 instruments at the same time.
Mhm.
So, like, I wanted to go the trumpet route just to kind of, like, get exposed to both band and strings. But thankfully, my parents steered me away from it and were like, 1 instrument is enough, because half the times you never want to practice anyways. But I still did because they forced me to. And sometimes they still text me to this day and are like, did you practice yet? And I'll either say, yes, I did, because I really did, or I'll say, no, I'm going to do that now. But sometimes I will say yes, even though I didn't. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but it's true. So, you had said that you played a quarter bass?
Yes.
When you first started? What size is that one?
That is a 3/4, I believe.
Nice. So, do you know anyone that's, like, on, like, a full size yet?
Full size is rare, because you mostly just get a full size for deeper sounds. Yeah, most people just stay with a 3/4 size, even in like a fully professional setting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you're tall, you just extend the end pin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I know you are pretty tall, but you guys also sit on stools, right? Does that have
Yeah.
anything to do with, like, if you would be able to do, like, a full size?
Not really. Like, honestly, when I sit on the stool, I actually have to make the end pin smaller. Because obviously if I sit down,
Yeah.
I become shorter.
Yeah, less height.
But I actually really need to learn how to play on stools better, because like it technically is better like ergonomically for your hand. Because instead of like pulling like if you're standing up, which isn't that great for tendons. If you sit down, you actually pull them back, which is better.
Nice, very nice. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the violin and the bass have the same strings, right? They both have like G, D, A, E?
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. So I guess you could essentially say the bass is like the violin's scary older brother. Anyways, back to the questions. So in your years of playing like bass, did you ever play with any like outside of school orchestras or like non-affiliated school groups?
I don't think so. I mean, I do regret not doing anything. I kind of wish I did some of those Pittsburgh Youth Civic things.
Yeah.
But what was it? Junior year, I believe. I did get selected to do districts, which I believe you were also.
Yeah,
there.
we were both at the same district festival, but I
Yeah.
don't think either of us knew because we never met until now.
Yeah. I was last year bass, but I still made it, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Hey, any chair is good if you have a chance to be at those festivals.
Yeah, like, it was fun to an extent. It was kind of like, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It was something.
Yeah, like, I've loved going to all those festivals, and honestly, for those watching that might be future Slippery Rock students or music students up here, you'd be surprised at how many people you might meet that could have been at those festivals back in like those days when you were playing at districts or regionals or even states. Because I've met quite a few people, including Zach here, that like have been at festivals, and it's just been super cool to like realize like, oh wow, it's like all these people from these different districts actually come together, and we end up actually seeing them again too.
Yeah.
So in your, 10, 11 years of playing,
Yeah, sure.
What would you say is probably like your greatest moment? Like it could be like a song you played, or like a place you went to and played at, or like a different memory entirely, or something like with a conductor.
I'm gonna leave out a lot of details because it's a long story, but probably just like, again, halfway through my junior year, just getting a new teacher, because this new teacher, he's really cool, and yeah, probably one of my favorite teachers of all time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the teacher has a lot, like, I feel like in an orchestra, if you look for like a place that has like a really good teacher, or just like, kind of like judging off of the teacher is like, it has its advantages and disadvantages, because I feel like if you have like a really fun teacher that knows like what he's talking about as well, or she for that matter, or like just a fun teacher that knows what they're talking about, is gonna make the overall like environment of playing music a lot more fun. Like Dr. John, for example, is so much fun to be around any given day, like in rehearsals. Like even if we have a lot of work to get done, we still find a way to have fun and like goof off a little bit, but still like all in all just improve as players.
Yeah. My high school teacher, he was pretty fun, but he was even like admit this himself. He hasn't touched a string instrument since he was in college learning stuff, because he was the band teacher, or he is the band teacher at my high school, and he was kind of just thrown into it. We had our ups and downs as an orchestra, but overall it was pretty fun, and we all like kind of learned together. Yeah, even one time when he brought in his professor from his college, I believe it was Duquesne. He was just teaching stuff, and that was just pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least for like how my high school worked, we had a separate teacher for orchestra, band, and choir. But the only way we'd be able to have like the band teacher as our director would be like if we played in the pit at our musicals.
Yeah.
So I played in the pit like my junior and senior year, and that's when I really got to learn from the band side of things, like more like musical terminology and all that as well.
Yeah. Speaking of the pit, actually, my senior year, I actually played in the pit of my high school's musical, and that is nothing but probably one of the most fun things I've done.
Yeah. What was your show your senior year?
The Young Family.
No way. Dude, I played that my junior year, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, at least my favorite song from it was the tango that's like at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Purely because I had the solo, but also just because like it was just a really cool song, and I feel like a lot of the stuff that you'd see on stage was just like super like, it was very well organized, especially at our school for just coming out of COVID as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I say that tango and the overture.
Yeah.
Overture?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
overture.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the most iconic song that I feel like you could like associate with the Addams Family, like either as like the show or the movie.
Yeah.
But
it's like
my senior year was by far my favorite musical I played, because it was Fiddler on the Roof.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And like from the pit, I was essentially playing on there the parts that the fiddler person on the stage would
cool.
actually be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very cool just seeing like kind of just like deceiving the audience, but also just seeing like how advanced like a production like this could be in a way.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because like we didn't really want to spend the money on like somebody who could like play the bass guitar. So I was kind of just like trying my best to play the bass guitar parts on upright bass, because I don't know how to play it on like regular bass guitar.
And this is all on the Addams Family, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I want to say when we did it, I think it was purely just stand-up bass. I can't remember if our bass player had the electric or not. I think he might have actually switched between the two. But
Yeah, because that's how it is set up in the score, where you switch. But like I said, like I was never taught how to play that.
yeah. Actually, Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, he did switch between the two of them. Like,
Yeah.
our bass player that was in there with us for like my junior year, like he is by far one of the most talented bass players I know. And like seeing him switch between that was really cool because like you could you could have like a variance in sound like each song, and it was super cool to see that even with a small pit, we could still put on a really good show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like probably the only person who could play the bass guitar pretty well. He was playing the electric guitar, and yeah, he couldn't really switch over because he was just like improvising and just playing it and stuff.
Awesome. All right, so do you like hypotheticals?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through one. Bear with me because it may not be fully clear, but I'll do my best to explain it.
Okay.
So it's many years down the road, after you're done at your time here at Slippery Rock. A stranger approaches you, recognizes you for your time that you played in Slippery Rock, and asks you, why do you play music? Like, to you, what is, like, your, like, reasoning of why you still play to this day?
Probably just, it's fun just hearing, like it's kind of weird, but like just the sound is just fun. Yeah, and then just like the environment, just like the music people in general are just fun people to be around.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the guests that have been like on this show, and even myself, like we've all pretty much agreed that like, especially in regards to this question, the environment and like the people that we're around are what really make music a lot more fun. And I feel like that's a key thing up here at Slippery Rock. Like, it doesn't matter how many musicians we have like on any given rehearsal day, it's more just the fact that we all like doing what we do, and because we like doing what we do, we work super well together and we can really create some great music.
Yeah.
So on that sort of topic, what do you think of orchestra up here in general, like as a class, so far in your time at Slippery Rock?
I'd say it's a pretty fun group to be around. It kind of reminds me a bit of my group of orchestra from high school, but like a tad less hyper is the way to put it.
Yeah.
I think a lot though to finally have another bass player with me, because all through high school and I think in middle school kind of, I was the only bass player.
Really?
Yeah, they were actually throwing people from the band up into the orchestra to play bass, and then I was teaching them, and then, yeah.
So you kind of got like thrust into like a mentor kind of position where you were like teaching them?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that like kind of really happened my senior year, where I basically mentored two people who are the only bassists up there right now.
Awesome. Yeah, like my senior year, like I kind of got like more into like the mentoring side of things as well. Like we had a lot of really good kids like that were freshmen that could really play music, and I took like maybe 4 or 5 like under my wing and just like showed them some things that I had picked up over the years and just like tried to help them be better musicians. Like there was like one girl in particular who was like pretty good at cello, and myself and another friend of mine who was also a senior, who was our only cellist at the time, we worked together, and I think we spent like the whole year just trying to like teach her and turn her into more of a leader like in her cello section and give her the chance to play in like the upperclassmen portion of our concert.
Yeah.
Because the way the orchestra broke down, our concert orchestra was our whole freshman class of however many freshmen that were there. And then the sophomores, juniors, and seniors all grouped together and played in our symphonic orchestra. Now, it was symphonic orchestra, but in reality, we really didn't have like band instruments in there. It was still just strings, but we'd end up combining for like one song. I think it might have been at both concerts that we did this. We'd combine like with like the best that the band had to offer and throw them in as like our other half of our symphony, and then just have like a full orchestra type song.
So when you say like your freshman group and like your sophomore group, Like, was your orchestra like so large, like you had that ability, or like? Explain more, I guess.
It's hard to explain, but basically, my senior year, our freshman class of like orchestra kids was really large.
Oh, okay.
So like I think there might have been like 15 violas or more, like just in the freshman class, mind you. But yeah, it's like the whole freshman class was all one group because there was like 20 or 30 of them. But the symphonic, which was all combined sophomores, juniors, and seniors, there was only maybe like 15 or 20 of us.
Yeah, because when I graduated, there was a total of probably, I want to say like probably, I think 22 of us total, like freshman, sophomore, junior, and seniors.
Wow. Yeah, I think if we combined the full orchestra together that we had my senior year, I'd say we had close to 40.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to the seniors that graduated, how many seniors do you think graduated in total, counting myself, from my orchestra last year?
Okay.
You'll be surprised.
So you said you were really big freshman group, right?
We had a really big freshman
Okay.
group.
So based on how orchestra went in my school, I want to say a total of
It's
10.
lower. Much lower.
3.
Yes. Yeah. Like, it was very cool, but at the same time, it's like we only had, I think the way it broke down, it was 3 seniors, 3 juniors, and I want to say like maybe 8 or 10 sophomores in our whole orchestra my senior year. But I feel like there's probably like a much bigger symphonic group, especially if like our whole freshman class moved up to symphonic. So now it's a bit of like, I'm a bit anxious to go back, like especially for the winter concerts whenever we're off for like our Christmas break, and just see like how much the orchestra has grown.
Yeah, I mean, when I go back to see like my winter concert, it's gonna be something.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be really small for a few years, and then our new teacher for the elementary school, he got like, I think 200-ish new students across all 4 elementary schools, which is huge.
Yeah, but you gotta keep in mind that even in elementary school, like,
Yeah.
at least for my district, there were a lot of people that quit like every year.
Yeah.
So by junior high, I think we were down to like maybe 20 kids.
Yeah, I mean like, it does taper as you go up the years, but like that's like the largest we've had in like years. Like I want to say like around like 70-ish per all 4 elementary schools we have registered every year. So yeah, that's a huge jump. So
Yeah.
hopefully once they get to high school, we'll have a much larger orchestra.
Yeah. Now, guys, even though it tapers, Zach and I can both agree in saying that you should stick with it. It is so much fun, and as you go like down the years, you learn more, and there's more and more experiences and opportunities that can come your way. All you have to do is practice, listen to your teachers, and just have a good time. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so if you could give like a music student, someone that's like either younger than you or like your same age, one piece of musical advice, anything at all, what would it be? But how about something like straight from your experiences, something that like you feel like could do someone else real good?
I mean, I guess just like try and find a teacher, because like I'm like biggest thing I regret, because like I tried my whole year of my high school career to find a bass teacher to help me, but like because I kind of live like in a small town, there was no one. So like I guess just like get a teacher, and that'll probably help.
Yeah, I feel like probably one of my best pieces of advice I have, like for someone would be like, no matter what happens, just stick with it, because
that's pretty good.
once you learn something with music, it's hard to forget it. And if you really love music, then you'll never want to give it up. Because there's so much you can do, there's always so much that you can learn. And even when you're playing performances and things, all you have to do is focus on how you play. You don't have to worry about everything else. All you have to do is just be there, show up, and know your part.
Yeah.
Let's do one more question,
Okay.
then we'll move on to something else. What are your future music plans? Are you gonna retire from playing after you graduate from here, or are you gonna try to keep music in your life down the road?
I probably want to keep playing. It's probably like just one of those things I want to like stick with me, cause like people in my family like they've all played in or not on my mom's side. They all most of them played in high school, but then they just quit after.
Did they play strings or band or a bit of both?
I believe everybody was band because my mom played flute. I think same with my aunt, and then my uncle played trumpet.
Dude, way to stick out. Strings is where it's at, but
Yeah.
we love band too, it's okay.
Yeah, and then I think my grandma actually played flute as well. But yeah. What was it? Yeah, actually, not a fun fact, I guess. Back when my uncle was in high school, our band was massive, and they actually went to the Macy's Day Parade, and they performed there.
Awesome, very awesome. Yeah, at least for my side, I do plan to try to keep it in my life down the road. Like, I'm hoping to maybe try to teach lessons on the side, like, along with whatever my main job is. And if I don't do that, then just like try to find like a group to play with, like down the road.
Yeah.
Because like, I come from a really musical family, and I feel like if I don't keep it in my life and find a way to pass it down to like my kids or like other like family members, then there's really no point. And I don't really want it to like die with me because I have so many fond memories like that are music related.
Yeah. I mean, probably one of my like, I guess, goals in life is just like practice a ton and to like just like be good enough to perform with like a serious group, I guess is the way to put it.
Awesome. Would you consider serious like Pittsburgh Symphony
Like
level?
not like that, like oh, what is it called? Like kind of like just like for some kind of like media, I guess.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, it's always good to set goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Always. Anyways, moving on. Oh, I should be like checking my email. Okay. Let's see here. What could be in my email? Oh, would you look at that? I guess this is a segue into our news segment.
Ooh.
That seem right? News segment? Yeah?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Interesting. Okay, so by the time this comes out, this will be after our concert, so we just want to say thank you to everyone that was there and supported us, and everyone that supported us along the way. We had a lot of fun, so now just get ready for an even better concert in the spring semester. And if you guys want to follow along with anything that we're doing in that time from now up into the spring semester, our social medias will be on screen at the end of the episode, and they should be down in the description as well. Now, let's see how well you know your music.
Okay.
We're gonna do our Minute to Win It trivia time game,
Alright.
and you have a minute to answer as many of these questions as you can.
Okay.
Now, last episode, Megan answered 7 of these correct. So, let's see if you can beat that.
Okay.
Alright, let me pull up timer. That's not a timer, that's a calculator. Oh, you know what? Megan's got it behind the camera. Alright, count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, what time signature is known as common time?
4/4.
Good. How many strings are generally on the violin, viola,
4.
cello? Let me finish the question, but good. What are the 4 main instrument groups in a symphony orchestra?
Strings, woodwinds, percussion, brass.
Good. Now this one's kind of a trick question. What is the French horn made out of?
Brass.
Good. True or false? A trumpet has 3 valves.
True.
Good. What is the pitch that we all tune to before we start a symphony orchestra rehearsal at SRU? Again, let me finish the question, but good. Name one of the 3 composers that we're playing music from at our concert.
Muretisch.
Okay. What is the name of this podcast?
Just in time for music.
You got that right. What stringed instrument can play the highest notes?
Violin.
Good. What
Time.
does... Okay. You completely blew her score out of the water. 9 questions answered. Good job. All right, so Megan's getting offended behind the camera. I'm sorry, Megan. Next time you're on, you can beat your score. I have complete faith in you, and so does Zach.
I think it's the question's fault.
Anyways, that's going to do it for episode 5. Zach, thanks for coming on.
All right.
Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything you think that we should add to the set or add to like how our episodes work. We'd love to hear your feedback so that we can make this show even better as time goes on. For now, stay musical.